Have you ever noticed how some people have a special gift with their hands? My grandfather was a cobbler. Well, not quite a cobbler. A cobbler is someone who makes shoes. But even in my grandfather's day, like now, most people would buy shoes from big department stores. But he repaired shoes and boots. I would go into his shoe shop. I was mesmerized. He would sit at a sewing machine that stitched through thick leather. He had machines that would sew wire through the soles. He had a machine that would spin, and he would polish the shoes. People would come from many different states just to have him fix their boots and their shoes. Whenever I smell leather now, my memory is filled with my grandfather cutting and stitching and gluing and polishing shoes. He was someone whose hands had been touched by magic. Sometimes the most extraordinary magic comes from those with ordinary talents, given extraordinary care. Today's story is about a cobbler named Finn O'Sullivan, whose skill with leather and thread caught the attention of royalty, though not the kind you might expect. In the village of Ballymoss, where morning mist clung to thatched roofs like gossamer blanket, lived young Finn O'Sullivan. The O'Sullivan family had crafted shoes for generations, passing down their tools and techniques like precious heirlooms. Unlike other cobblers who rushed through their work, Finn approached each pair of shoes as if he was crafting a masterpiece. His nimble fingers worked the leather with reverence while he hummed old Irish melodies, believing the music found its way into his creations. "You'll never be rich that way, lad," his friend Patrick would chide, watching Finn spend an entire afternoon perfecting a heel. But Finn would just smile, his eyes crinkling. But there's richness in doing something proper, isn't there? Besides, my customers' feet deserve nothing but the best. On a rainy Tuesday, as Finn worked on dancing shoes for his cousin's wedding, he became so absorbed that he didn't notice when the rain stopped and an unusual green, gold light filtered through the window. A sharp rap at the door finally broke his concentration. Opening the door, Finn found himself face to face with the strangest little man he had ever seen, no taller than Finn's knee. He wore an emerald green velvet coat with brass buttons shaped like shamrocks. His white beard was braided with golden thread, but most remarkable were his shoes, made of material that rippled like water, yet held its shape, colored deep forest green with swirls of gold dancing across the surface. "Good day to you, Master O'Sullivan," the little man said, his voice surprisingly deep, as "I've been watching your work, and I find myself in need of your services." You're one of the wee folk," Finn stammered, forgetting his manners. The little man's bushy eyebrows rose. "Indeed I am. Rark Mac Lir, King of the Leprechauns of Munster, Master of Green Treasures, and Keeper of the Western Rainbow's End." After inviting the king inside, Finn learned of his task, crafting wedding shoes for Princess Orla, the king's daughter, in just 3 days. Impossible, thought Finn. But before he could protest, Roari produced 3 magical gifts: golden seeds that would grow into moonlight thread, essence of twilight, to transform ordinary leather into pearl containing a mermaid's tear of joy to ensure tireless dancing feet. But why me? Finn asked. Surely there are cobbler folk among your own kind. The Leprechaun King's face grew solemn. When you craft your shoes, you pour not just skill but heart into them. The songs you hum become blessings. The care you take becomes comfort. And the joy you feel becomes the wearer's joy. Such magic is rare even among my folk. They agreed on a design. Slippers with the delicate appearance of fairy wings, but the durability of walking boots. As the king prepared to leave, he turned with a mischievous smile. Should you succeed, there shall be reward beyond imagining. Should you fail, his eyes twinkled, well, let's just say your future creations might all be considerably smaller in size. He gestured to his own tiny feet and chuckled. That night, Finn planted the gold seeds under the waxing moon and treated his finest calfskin with the twilight essence, watching it in wonder as it began to shimmer with inner light. For 3 days, Finn worked tirelessly. The golden seeds sprouted into stalks that produced thread almost invisible, yet glowing faintly in darkness. The leather infused with twilight molded perfectly to his design while maintaining remarkable strength. When he set the mermaid's tear into each slipper's arch, the shoes seemed to sigh with contentment. When he pricked his finger, a drop of blood fell onto the leather. But rather than staining it, the blood disappeared into the material, adding a hint of warm rose to the green. An unplanned touch that made the slippers even more beautiful. As sunset approached, on the 3rd day, Finn placed the finished shoes on a cushion of moss. They caught the golden rays and refracted them in dancing patterns of emerald and gold. The door swung open precisely as the sun touched the horizon. King Ruari entered, accompanied by a leprechaun maiden whose copper hair cascaded down her back and whose deep brown eyes held the mystery of forest pools. Father, she gasped, seeing the slippers, they're beautiful. Pretty they may be, the king replied, but they must be tried before judgment is passed. Princess Orla slipped her feet into the shoes, and they adjusted perfectly to her size. She rose onto her toes, then executed graceful leaps that would have been impossible in ordinary footwear. They're perfect, she exclaimed, her voice like silver bells. It's as if they know what movement I'm going to make before I even make it. King Ruari's formal expression melted into a broad smile. Well done, Master Sullivan. He produced a small green pouch that clinked heavily. Your payment as promised. Inside, instead of gold coins, Finn found 7 tiny seeds, each a different color of the rainbow. Plant these under the next full moon, the king instructed, and you shall have leather in colors no mortal has ever worked with properties suited to the wearer's deepest needs. Princess Orla offered her own gift, a silver thimble blessed by moonlight that would prevent his fingers from ever growing stiff or sore. As they prepared to leave, King Ruari turned back with a wink. You know, there are many among my court who would pay handsomely for such fine footwear. Perhaps we might arrange regular visits. And so Finn O'Sullivan became the royal cobbler to the Leprechaun court of Munster. While continuing to craft shoes for his human neighbors, He also created special orders for fairy customers who visited on moonlight nights. His reputation spread throughout the country, with people claiming his shoes could let them dance all night without tiring, or walk 20 miles without a blister. Finn never revealed his secrets, but villagers sometimes heard him speaking with someone whose responses were too soft to make out, or they glimpsed unexplainable emerald light through his windows. Some said Finn had gone a bit odd from working too many long hours alone, but those who wore his shoes just smiled knowingly, feeling the magic with every step they took. You know, friends, I think we all have a bit of Finn O'Sullivan's magic in our own hands. Whether you're drawing pictures, building blocks, or making music, there is something wonderful about creating with care and love. The things we make with our whole hearts carry a piece of us within them. Next time you're working on something, try putting your whole heart into it. Maybe even humming a little tune like Finn did. You know, you never know who might be watching. You might not see him, but maybe, just maybe, you'll discover a bit of magic in your own two hands. If you enjoyed the Cobbler and the Leprechaun King, please tap the like button and subscribe to join our storytelling family. I'd love to know in the comments, what is something that you have created with your own hands that brings you joy? Until next time, may your feet be comfortable, your heart be light, and your eyes always open to the magic that dances just at the edge of sight. Happy St. Patrick's Day.